So the other day, one of my old clients who I helped scale all the way to $100,000 per month reached out to me and he said, Joel, what made you move from your agency offer to coaching to now running a management company where you scale a bunch of different offers to multiple 7 and even 8 figures? And by the way, for those of you guys that don't know, I've scaled my own companies to over $1 million a month, cash collected between all of my offers. I've also helped 134 entrepreneurs scale all the way to $100,000 per month. And I've spent the last 2 years on building a management company where I essentially try to find the best offers on the planet and help them scale. And in our industry, a lot of people talk about picking better vehicles. I'm sure you've heard it. It's not a matter of how hard you row, but the vehicle that you're in. Problem that no one actually talks about how to pick better vehicles, aka $100 million offers. How do you actually go from the vehicle that you're in to something bigger and better? So in today's video, I'm going to break down some of the biggest lessons that I've learned after scaling a bunch of my own offers to multiple 7 and even 8 figures. And just for some context, I've also had some offers that flopped. For example, we started a solar company about 2 years ago. We scaled it to over 7 figures, and then the entire industry pretty much collapsed and a ton of installers went bankrupt and we ended up losing a ton of money. On the flip side, I scaled an investment offer from zero to $800,000 a month in 6 months with pretty much the exact same team. And what that's shown me is that you could literally take the same team, the same skill set, the same everything, and just put yourself in a better vehicle and scale way faster. Let's actually talk about this by breaking down a sailboat. It's a sailboat. It goes 10 miles per hour versus a speedboat. Let's see if I can make a cool speedboat. Looks more like a paper plane, but you get the point. This one goes 80 miles per hour. So let's talk about the differences here. One of the biggest things that I look for when I'm picking better vehicles is the LTV, or volume. So a lot of the times, what happens with crappier vehicles is that they're selling to the middle market. They're not able to sell to millions and millions and millions of people and go for a volume play. And they're also not able to sell to the richest people in the world and go for a high LTV play. They're kind of stuck in the middle. So for example, with Agency Lab, which was one of the offers that we scaled to $750,000 a month, I was selling to agency owners. They tend to be kind of in the middle. They kind of have enough money to invest, but they're also kind of rich. It's kind of like in the middle. I don't know how else to put it. And even worse, there's not millions of them. It's kind of in the middle. There's hundreds of thousands, not tens of millions. So what happens with really fast vehicles, you want to either go for high LTV, and I'm talking being able to sell to, so for example, publishing.com is one of the biggest offers in the info space, and their ideal client avatar is literally anyone with a credit card. And I know that sounds a little crazy, but the point is they can sell their offer to literally anyone, and they can go for volume play because they're not in the middle. It's not a tiny little niche. You can do a volume play teaching everyday people that have never heard of the agency model how to start an agency, kind of how Iman did it. But again, that's volume. He's essentially in the make money online niche, not the agency niche. If you're going after the agency niche, you can't do volume, and you also can't do high LTV. I'm talking 25,000 and up. So here I'm talking about selling thousands per month, thousands of people. Or high LTV, 25,000, even 50,000, even 100,000. On the flip side, the sailboat is kind of in the middle. Not a lot of people and not very rich. So that's the first thing. Second thing, sailboats, you can't spend a lot on ads. Whereas with speedboats, I can spend a lot on ads. When I pick offers now that I'm launching, I'm not asking myself, how can I get to $5,000 a day in ad spend? I'm not even asking how can I get to $10,000 a day in ad spend. I'm asking myself, how can I get to 25, 50, even $100,000 a day in ad spend? If there's an offer that I can scale that much with really good systems, with a really good product, really good sales team, really good ops, really good client success, the chances of me making way more with the same exact skill set go way up because I can spend my way to scale. Think about that, guys. You want to be able to spend your way to the levels of scale that you guys are after. Crappy vehicles, you can't spend a lot on ads. For example, right now I'm at a video production company in their studio. They want to run an offer where they can advertise around a 10-mile radius and invite people to come in, spend a few hours. Then they're going to record their content, edit it, post it for them. It's a full done for you service. Here's the problem. They can't spend tens of thousands of dollars a day on ads because number one, there just aren't that many business owners within a 10-mile radius for them to be able to actually advertise to. And number two, their business model wouldn't allow for it because they would be so maxed out. They would need to expand and then therefore increase costs, and then complexity creep catches up. Things get more operationally complex. And every time they get a new client, it's a shit show. So it's a slower vehicle. Whereas if you can find a way to spend a lot of money and also spend fast, and I'm not saying you should scale fast for for the sake of scaling fast, but what I am saying is that if you can up spend aggressively, it's going to allow you to hit those revenue numbers way faster. To recap, a sailboat stuck in middle markets. They're not super rich. They're not super poor. It's not huge amounts of volume. You also can't sell them something very expensive. On the flip side, speedboats, really good offers, allow you to charge a lot of money and beat a sailboat's LTV off of one client, or you're in huge, broad, mass market offers where you can sell thousands and thousands and thousands of people every single month. So, for example, there's a guy named John Gian, and we did one of his workshops. Our team did, and he is in huge mass market audiences, and he has huge biz op offers, and he's spending over $1 million a month on ads, not more. His goal is to try to get to millions a month on ads, $3, $4, $5 million a month on ads. So he's selling thousands of people every single week, every single month. Second, sailboats, you spend very little on ads. You're limited either due to it being a small market or operations get really complex the moment you start spending more. Those are really the two main reasons. You either don't have a big enough market, or if you do try to spend a lot, your business is going to become a living nightmare and you're not going to be able to scale ads because it's going to be a slave to operations. You're always going to be limited by your operations. On the flip side, really good vehicles allow you to spend a lot on ads, and if you want to, you can also spend it fast and scale without operational complexity. That's why info products are easier to scale oftentimes because they don't require a lot of operational complexity. Whereas scaling a logistics company, yes, might be massive, but it's going to take longer than just spending more on the ads and making more quickly. So, by the way, guys, when you look at industries, it's not like you could start a logistics company and make tens of millions of dollars. Like every boat can get to the finish line if done properly and with enough time. But we're talking about picking better vehicles that allow you to go faster and hit your goals way more efficiently. So it's not about good industry versus bad industry. I'll give you guys a very real example right now that ties these two together. The friend that reached out to me, that was one of my clients, he has an agency helping real estate investors generate leads, right? So he does all their ads and he helps real estate investors generate leads. He's at 100K a month. There's not millions of real estate investors that are actively trying to grow a real estate investing business. And you can't spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a day on ads to get in front of them. And it's kind of in the middle. Most real estate investors aren't ballers, right? They're not printing. There are some very wealthy ones, but a lot of them are kind of in the middle. On the flip side, I have another friend who I also ironically helped scale to 100K a month with his Mets buy agency. He went off and created an offer that he sells for $25,000 to rich people. So his audience is rich people. There's millions and millions of rich people in the United States. And all he tells them is, hey, I'm going to help you acquire a short-term rental Airbnb that you can use to lower your taxes. So and again, he charges $25,000. So now he can spend a lot of money because there's millions of rich people, and he can also cash collect $25,000 up front, whereas my other client on the flip side is collecting on average, his LTV is about $8,000 to $12,000. So we're literally on this side beating his LTV 2 to 3 times over, and we can get way more clients than this side, even though they're both using sales skills, marketing skills, and they're both in the real estate investing niche. So it's interesting because, again, it's similar skill sets, similar things, but totally different outcomes. And that proves the point. It's not about the industry. It's how you leverage the industry to create $100 million offers. The last thing I like to look at, and obviously there's way more factors, but I'm going to give you guys 3 today just to keep it simple. Number 3, a lot of the people that are in a slow boat or slow vehicle, they're in beginner business models. On the flip side, over here, they're in intermediate or advanced business models. So for example, running a marketing agency, helping real estate investors get leads is a beginner business model. There's hundreds of YouTube videos teaching you how to do it for free. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of competitors that are doing the same thing. The business model is very, very simple. On the flip side, if you take a look at the other offer, helping rich people acquire short-term rental Airbnb properties to lower their taxes, it's a much more advanced offer because it requires you to have to actually go out, find properties, have a transaction coordinator, have a whole system in place, deal with a lot of rich people who have higher standards, but it still leverages the same skill set. And there's not a lot of competition. So over here on the left, beginner models are proven to work, but they tend to have extreme levels of saturation. Whereas on this side, you could take similar industries, flip the models on their head, make them slightly harder at first, but eventually you're going to have way less competition, and therefore you'll be able to scale way faster. So one of the ways that you guys can do this, for example, is you can take any info product on this side that's crushing it. So for example, I saw this company that's teaching people how to start remote bookkeeping. That's their offer. It's a course. You could literally have a done-for-you bookkeeping offer where you help someone build a bookkeeping offer completely done for you. That's slightly more advanced, way less competition, and it's going to allow you to beat everyone else that's just teaching how to do bookkeeping. I'll give you another example of the same exact industry. You can take one agency that's just selling to local businesses, or you can take another agency that's going after Fortune 500 clients. They're going after people doing 8 or even 9 figures, and they could do rev shares. So same exact industry, and in fact, same exact business model, but they're able to charge way more. And because they're working with way bigger clients, it's almost like they have a ton of speedboats that they're getting rev share from. Whereas on this side, even if you took a rev share on a chiropractor's office, you're not going to make that much money. It's capped out. They're in a sailboat as well. So on this side, you want to look for ways to flip the models on their head to make them more advanced. And this is the challenge. I can't tell you exactly how to do this. There's a part of it where you're going to have to innovate. You're going to have to take the framework and figure out and ask yourself, how do I make it better? How do I make it different? How do I make it unique? For example, there's so many people. I'll give you guys two more real life examples that are working right now in 2025, and people are literally printing millions of dollars. A beginner business model would be like teaching people how to do Amazon as a course. Okay. There's been hundreds of people that have done that. A slightly more intermediate or advanced version of that would be taking that exact same offer, translating it in a bunch of different languages, and taking the Amazon course offer and publishing it in Spain, Mexico, Colombia, Argentina that speak Spanish. Maybe don't have quite as much money as the United States of America, but still enough money to absolutely crush it and make it work. Very few people are doing that. You could literally take that exact same offer and run it in France. You could take that exact same offer and run it in Germany. You guys get the point. That's one example. Another example is you could take offers that are proven to work, that are beginner models, and then just put a female founder that attracts the female demographic. If you guys start looking at or clicking on ads for female led offers, you're going to start seeing hundreds of ads for other female led offers. And what's really interesting is that those are absolutely crushing it right now. So for example, remote sales, teaching people how to do remote sales worked in like 2018 as an offer with a male face behind it. Right now, in this moment, there are people doing over $1 million a month with that exact same offer. And the biggest difference is that they are targeting the female market. So it's taking that beginner model and just making it harder. And I don't mean harder as in operationally harder. I mean just harder in terms of having to be creative, having to innovate, having to be different. And I give you guys plenty of examples of how to do that. And with that in mind, that's how you pick better vehicles. Or at least that's 3 really, really powerful ways and frameworks that you guys can use to pick better vehicles. What I would say though, big warning. I see a lot of people wanting to pick a better vehicle just because they heard it's not a matter of how hard you row, it's a matter of what vehicle you're in. What I would say is the most important thing first and foremost is maxing out the current vehicle that you're in. If you can't even max out a Toyota Camry, don't go and find a Ferrari. If you haven't maxed out your current offers, don't pivot. This idea of picking better vehicles only applies once you've tapped out your current vehicle. And you'll know, like if you're spinning your wheels trying to scale it, the business is speaking to you, especially if your skills are pretty solid. If you're good at closing, good at marketing, good at client fulfillment, all that, good at operations, the business is speaking to you. If you're literally spinning your wheels trying to scale it and having to almost get too fancy with it, too creative with it, it's literally telling you, hey, get more creative with it and let's flip the model into a harder business model. So again, for example, I worked with chiropractors as my first business. It was a marketing agency. And I look at my good friend, Eddie Malouf. After working with local businesses, he went on to work with huge, huge clients. That's personally, I didn't want to follow that path and work with huge Fortune 500 companies. It just wasn't the lifestyle that I wanted. It's definitely more money, but also more stress. That being said, he took that model, scaled up the difficulty on it. So with that in mind, guys, if you like this type of content, if you're finding this valuable, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and then drop a comment below. Let me know, do you guys want more of this advanced content? I know I've been asking you guys on every single video, but let me know if you guys are liking this type of content. And last but not least, there's 2 ways that you guys can work with us. Number 1, we have our 100K a month mastermind, where we help you go from 10K a month all the way to 100K a month like we've done for 134 other entrepreneurs. And you do have to be at 10K a month for that. I'm going to link it below. And then also, if you're doing over 100K a month and you want one-on-one coaching, or you want my team to run your ads, or you want to do an in-person day, we have a ton of customized solutions. If you're doing over 100K a month, we do not like to prescribe a certain offer, but we do want to help you scale to multiple 7 and even 8 figures. So if you're at 100K a month and you're like, Joel, I have this very specific problem, or I'd love to learn how you can help me, go ahead and also apply below, and we will come up with a customized solution just for you if it makes sense. So that's pretty much it. Peace out.